Good morning, everybody. This is Archana here from Read, Write, Inspire. Today I'm going to talk to you about creating an everyday writing habit. And for that, I'm going to use the tips given in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. James Clear is one of my favorite authors. I am been on his email newsletter list for I don't know for how many years now, and I don't miss reading even a single letter from him. He says how and why we should develop good habits and how we can do that easily through his book Atomic Habits. I'm just going to interrupt a little bit and ask you for something. If you liked this video, please click like below. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more videos. When I knew James is coming out with a book called Atomic Habits, the first thing that I decided was, how am I going to use this book to make sure that I can develop a good writing habit? So I have been reading this entire book only with the idea of creating a writing habit. However, the book also helped me in creating an everyday habit of exercising every day and also a habit of meditating every day. So I would say it's a fantastic book. And if I leave a link to the book below in the description box. Please do pick it up and read it. I'm sure you'll enjoy the book. Now, before we go any further, let me tell you why I feel it's very important to write every day. So for me, right now, I am pressed with multiple writing projects and I really feel overwhelmed at times. And sometimes I just don't want to write. And shifting from one project to another is very difficult for me in a single day. So usually in a particular day, I try and concentrate on only one particular project. I don't try to do multiple projects in a particular day, which is okay, which is fine. One way I feel it's good because it helps me focus. But what about those days when I decide I want to do a project and then don't end up doing anything in either that project or in any other project, So I did have some bad writing habits, I would say, in this entire 2019. And I wanted to create an everyday routine, get into a schedule every day where I am writing every day. And the first time that I was able to break out of my writer's block and really write every day was after reading this book. So a huge thanks to James Clear for that. Now, I wanted to share with you the exact steps that I followed to get into that writing habit. So let me just share that with you. Before we go further into the steps, the actual steps, let me tell you what James Clear says in his book. So James Clear says that small habits will compound over time. So he says that you cannot immediately imagine having a huge success. When you put in small habits every single day, they keep adding up and they are deposited into your bank. They keep adding up. And then all those what are added up will give you a fantastic result. But it will take time. It is not going to happen immediately. Over a period of time, it will happen. So even when you get into the habit, like, on a Sunday or a Saturday, you write 3,000 words. On every other day, you don't write anything at all. However, instead of that, and especially your Saturday and Sunday or Saturday or Sunday is probably ruined because you're doing that. You're not able to do anything else. With a family and other commitments, sometimes that's difficult. Instead, if you have a habit of writing just 500 words probably every single day, that would really account for much more results. In 7 days, you would be writing 3,500 words instead of sitting and writing, the entire Saturday spending on writing 3,000 words in 1 week. That too might not happen on certain Saturdays and you might get stuck in a fix. Instead, doing something as small as 500 words every single day will build up. You'll have a novel within 100 days. So that's great. So what James Clear says is progress is not a steep graph. So you can't just imagine that your progress graph is going to go steeply like this. Usually the graph is slowly goes like this. So there is a chance of getting disheartened over it. When you concentrate on big goals, there's a huge chance that you get disheartened. So instead of focusing on goals, focus on the process. So instead of focusing on a goal of writing a bestseller, or completing 4 novels in a month, 4 novels in a year, so instead of such kind of goals, concentrate on the process of writing every single day. I will write at least 200 words every single day. Now that's a very much doable goal. It's a doable process. So once you have fixed it into your calendar, and you have clear on this is how I'm going to do it, it becomes easy. It becomes manageable, and you can do it. So I like one particular quote which James Clear has in this book, and I wanted to share it with you. It is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. It is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. So how committed are you to writing? Only that will determine how much progress you're going to make in your writing. Now, with these few things, I need to tell you another important thing, after which we will go to the exact steps that I used to create a daily writing habit using Atomic Habits. So before that, let me just tell you one more thing. Before you proceed any further, in creating a daily writing habit, first decide what is the kind of writer that you want to be. For me personally, I want to be a prolific writer. I want to be a writer who has multiple books out in a particular year. And I didn't have anything out in 2019, which is kind of, which has been pinching me a lot. I feel kind of, I don't know, sad and worried that I didn't put out any book in 2019. That really feels sad. I really feel depressed about it. I really feel upset about that. I want to be a prolific writer. I want to write more. I want to share more with the world. And I do have a lot of stories to say. So there is nothing else except laziness, procrastination, and a bad writing habit that can be blamed for this, which is what I have been trying now to set right. So first decide what is the kind of writer that you would like to be. Are you okay about being a writer who puts out a book maybe once in 5 or 6 years? It's fine if that is giving you satisfaction, and if you feel happy about that, then it's completely fine. You can in fact turn off the video now. There's nothing more to do in it. So decide about the kind of writer that you want to be. Second, reinforce that identity. If you want to be a person who's prolific, if you want to be a writer who writes every day, then you need to do small things to reinforce that identity into yourself. And how can you do that? You can do that only by building good habits. So only a habit of writing every day will reinforce the identity inside you that you are a person who writes every day. You are a person for whom writing is very important. So identify the kind of writer that you want to be and reinforce that identity. How do you reinforce that identity? That brings us to our next step. How do you build a writing habit? So I used James Clear's book, and I have converted his 4 laws for building a good habit into how I can do it for my writing. So let me go on to it. First one is make it obvious. The first law of creating a habit is make it obvious. So what James Clear says is, make it obvious that this is what you have to be doing, Let it be clear to you. What I have done is, just to make this very clear to me, I took a piece of chart paper, stuck it in my bathroom, and it says, I will write at 10 a.m. in my study after my bath. I will write at 10 a.m. in my study after my bath. I clearly said what I'm going to be doing, when I'm going to be doing, and where I'm going to be doing, and after what am I going to be doing it. And I have made it obvious by sticking this particular chart to my bathroom. So every time I go to have a bath, I can see that and I know that that's exactly what I need to be doing after my bath. So make it obvious. This is going to be the first law. The second law is make it attractive. The second thing which I've done, which I have just told myself, is that after I write, if I've done my writing for the day, then I can watch Netflix at 1 p.m. when I have my lunch. So not immediately after I finish my writing will I watch Netflix. But if I want to watch Netflix during my lunch hour, which is at 1 p.m., then I should have written in the morning. So if I had written at 10 a.m., then I can have watch Netflix during my lunch hour, or I can't. So now my habit is very attractive to me because if I do it, I get to watch Netflix. Great. Third thing. The third law is make it easy. Now, what is the problem is most of us whenever I talk about a writing habit, whenever I tell people that I write every day, they think that I write a lot every day. They assume that I write 2000 words like Stephen King every single day. Not at all. 1000 words is a struggle with me. I'm bad that way. But what I've told myself is that I need to write just for 2 minutes every day. So at 10 a.m. when I sit, if I've written for 2 minutes, then it's a success. That's it. Anything that I write more than that is a bonus. So I might write 1000 words, I might write 2000 words, but all that is a bonus. Come on. That's not is my aim. My aim is that at 10 a.m. I sit and I write for 2 minutes. That's it. Anything more than that is a bonus. The fourth law is make it satisfying. So, when we've achieved something, so if you see these primary kids, once they've written their homework, the teacher gives them a star. And it's nothing, it's just a star. She might sometimes just draw a star in their hand too. That's also fine for them. But they feel so happy because it's a sense of achievement. Similarly for me, I have a yearly writing tracker in my bullet journal. I'll leave a link to it somewhere in the description box below or somewhere in the video. You can check out that video. And as soon as I finish writing for 2 minutes, I open my bullet journal and put a cross in the box where I need to have written. So this way, I feel so happy to see those, that chain being formed and it's just going on. I have written every day. It gives such a sense of fulfillment. And I really want you to have that sense of fulfillment too. So whatever, it could be a chart where you give yourself a star for every single day you write, or you can, have a chocolate if you don't mind your weight. So just have a chocolate every single time you finish. It's your chocolate for the day. Wow. Or have a glass of tea, have a cup of coffee, whatever works for you. So the law 1 is to make it obvious. Law 2 is make it attractive. Law 3 is to make it easy, and the law 4 is to make it satisfying. It gives a sense of satisfaction when I strike out in my bullet journal for my writing every day. You can use these same 4 laws to create different kinds of, create and build different habits. Of course, I have condensed the entire book and just mentioned a little bit over here. But if you pick up James Clear's book, and if you read it in depth, you will get much more ideas on how you can use this book in the best possible way for yourself. All the best and keep writing. Bye-bye.